How you doing? Um, I don't know how long I'm gonna go for. Pretty fucking exhausted, but I figured I'd come in here. Like, I know I was gonna go live last night, but I was just too exhausted. Long day. But I figured I'd come in here this evening. Had a little bit of time, a little tired. There was a glitch in the first attempt. Sorry about that, guys. But we're here now. We're live. I mean, you guys can't see me, right? I hope so. Anyhow, hold on a sec here. Um, okay, just yeah. How y'all doing? How you guys doing? I just want to give a shout out to everybody in chat. Quinn, good to see you. Sue, Jamie, Danny, Down Under, um, the Bud Files. Welcome, welcome, sir. If you're still watching, welcome. I know that's a long intro. Sue, who else? Did I get everyone? Let me just Tracy, if you're still there, and myself explored. Welcome, 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 welcome. Danny, it is a deep fake. It really is. I'm really fast asleep. Sue, my eye is stable. I have to go see my surgeon in 2 or 3 weeks. Get an update to see if things have changed. But as far as my personal experience, my eye seems to be fine. I haven't had any difference in symptoms or any symptoms really. My peripheral is great. I've got floaters. I've had floaters forever. Um, and they haven't increased. I haven't had any darkness. It's in this eye here, my left eye. It's a detached retina, but because when it happened, like I said, if it when it happened, I didn't know. I honestly, nothing was there. No symptoms, nothing. It's been there for a while because there's scar tissuing, scarring, if you will. And from what I understand, the scar tissue, like I mentioned a couple of shows ago or last show or whatever, I don't know, the afternoon show I did with Matt, that the scarring has stabilized the retina, so it has held it in place. And as far as I know, I don't know how long it most likely has happened within the last 2 years since the last time I saw the optometrist for my, because they found it during my routine 2 year eye exam, and she found something there. Yeah, you gotta love those floaters, Danny. They're a pain in the ass, but I mean, I've lived with them for so long, I'm used to them. But because now that I know I have a detached retina, I'm kind of paranoid. But I haven't noticed any difference um, at all. Like my eyesight hasn't changed. My prescription, my glasses, still have my old ones. I'm gonna hold off for a little bit before I get new ones. Just I want to see what the surgeon says. Like I said, he was saying that people, I think it's called PVC or PVR, sorry, it's called, and well, it won't repair itself, unfortunately, Sue, but it has the potential of holding it in place for, you know, months, years. He said, potentially, he's had some people up to 10, 20 years, but we'll see. um I know this guy. I know this guy. This guy looks very familiar. How are you, sir? Oh, you're muted. We can't hear you. No. Hold on a sec. Let me just see if it's on my end, but I don't think so. Let me just see. No. Mike is all looking. Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There we go. We got you, buddy. We got you.
It selected the wrong audio for some reason. I was going to
It's
say, yeah, Georgia says, fuck you and fuck your eye, you four-eyed cunt.
Wait a sec.
Sorry.
Let me poke you in the eye so you can be four eyes too.
Maybe I could flick your eye a bit, so it'll pop back in.
I know, eh? Isn't it? It's an intriguing thing. It really is. Like I have felt nothing at all, and the surgeon goes, "Oh, you've got a detached retina. Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but you didn't even know. That's weird,
Didn't
isn't
even
it?
know. Didn't even know. Like I said,
Maybe
when it
when maybe you won't need glasses or something. Maybe I have to like take the prescription of one of your eyes, when it's done.
well, I was hoping they'd say, well, a little bit of laser surgery, you'll be fine. But that's what laser surgery does. It creates scar tissue to hold the retina in place. My body's
Mm,
already done that.
mm,
So
Jeez. They
I
do
have no
say
idea.
don't rub your eye, but I'm always like rubbing my eyes, like
I'm
they
always
say don't.
rubbing my eye.
Yeah.
Do you got floaters, Matt?
Uh, yeah. Only when I shit in the bath, mate. Yeah.
uh, how you doing, man? Cheers.
Mm. Cheers, indeed. Yeah,
Doing good?
I'm on the
You
bit.
doing good?
Yeah, well, it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you decided to go live and asked me would I come on, and I'm like, well, I was contemplating going to bed, but like, fuck it. Yeah.
Well, I normally do a late night on Wednesday nights when I can, and I figured, hey, it's been a while, well, I think it was last week I did it, and I was
Mm.
actually surprised because I noticed you posted a video a few seconds ago, a few minutes ago, and I'm like, hey, maybe he's awake. I'll shoot him a
Yeah.
message.
Yeah. You worked me out. Yeah. Yeah. I kind of finished editing a 360 video of us going to the Kingsway bunker, so I put that up for the members. I kind of I wait a couple of days till the figures start dropping off on the other ones, and then I'll go, you all complained because Jordan was moaning, and this one is even more interesting than the first one because I get to abseil down the side of the building in 360. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I'll put that out in a day probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it. I will have to watch it.
And you must be a member then because that was put out to members, yeah?
I guess so. I guess so.
Oh, you must be a
I
member.
I
Did
must
I put
be.
it out? Did it out? Did I put it out publicly? Shit,
I don't know. Hold on. Let me just see. Hold on. Let me just double
probably.
check.
I'm stupid. Oh, no, no. I put one out. Stung by bees at Mersey Tunnel fail explore. Yeah, no, that was just like a really little fail explore video. I forgot I put that public because it's been sitting in the archive for ages. So I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mm.
All right.
That one's been there since mid-July, just like members only. So, yeah, I thought, oh well.
Well, I'll have to become a member then. I will have to
Well,
do that, sir.
well, no, you
Do I get a
don't have.
sticker?
You get a sticker, sir. I'll send you a sticker in the post. I'll send you a sticker pack if you want.
I'll have
Yeah,
to send you. I'll have to send you a couple of our stickers your way too.
yeah, they can go on my board that you can't see back here.
No, Jar Jar's giving it the finger.
Yeah, no, it's on this very very infrequently seen board of stickers.
Cool.
I'll put you on there. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I'll send you a couple stickers or a sticker package.
yeah. We've got Exploring with Fighter, Katie Colston, Black Asteroids a Band, Exploring the Unseen World, who stopped doing stuff, Hidden History of Ray, Exploring with Carl. He tells me he doesn't. I'm not allowed to stick stickers in places, and he gave me a sticker look. So there's hypocrisy for you. Exploring Within, Kernow, Vacant Haven, and The Secret Vault.
The
Yeah.
Secret Vault.
Yeah.
Hey, Blood, how are you? Good to see you, Blood.
Yeah. Hi, Blood.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It's funny because I didn't realize how popular stickers were. Um, like I said, I gotta get Quinn his sticker too. I still haven't shipped it. When I've got his address, I gotta ship it to him. Quinn, don't worry, I'll get it out to you.
Fuck that guy. Fucking. He's one of the shit viewers. He's in the shit viewer category. Don't send him any stickers. Send him a dog turd in the post.
So what's new and exciting, buddy?
Not a lot, really.
No.
No. I gotta get round to sorting out a bail variance hearing with a magistrate's court and go and represent myself in a magistrate's court and say, hey, your bail conditions suck, and these are all the reasons why. Take them away.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's shitty, man.
Yeah, but I got to do it with a nice smile and very calmly and collectedly explaining why it's stupid. Mm.
Yeah, it's never fun having to do that. But you know what? Like you said, and we're talking about the same thing, right? We're talking about the whole situation with the that place that you guys got into, the government building or whatever.
Exeter Magistrates Court.
Yeah.
And they had a hissy fit because I showed them up for some stupidity.
And that's what I mean. You were doing the right thing. You were fucking, and you did warn them before, right? Did you not warn them before about this?
No, I just put it in the video. Hopefully, then they would go and collect the documents because they shouldn't be there. But I can only assume that when they went there, there were no documents. But they didn't find anything in my place because I didn't take them. So somebody must have watched my video and got to the documents before the police did. Yeah.
Oh, so somebody got to the documents before. Wow.
Yeah.
So they're missing. Wow.
The police didn't tell me they were missing, but they came to my house looking for something.
Well, yeah, they trashed your place. Yeah.
Turned my place upside down. Took my drones and a 360 camera, which was in this box here, but now is no longer in the box. And they said they took it. So yeah, they took a 360 camera. Why did they take a 360 camera? Why did they take the drones? Just to be arseholes, so because they can, just to inconvenience me and piss me off, and we'll teach him a lesson. Ha 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 ha. Court case or no court case, we're gonna have fun with this guy. And it's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. It's always fun having to, be on the right side of things, especially when the government's involved and making them look like fucking idiots. But hey, look how many people you're up against, really, right? It's bullshit.
Yeah. And I mean, somebody said, yeah, they're trying to remove the tools of my trade, but they didn't take the camera I actually filmed with on the night. They just took a whole load of other stuff. And they even said that they took, I think, hang on, just check if I got it. Yeah, no. Should be in here, I think. Yeah. They've got a list of evidence they've seized from my house, including this phone, a Hawaii in a case. They've got this. They listed it in evidence.
But yet it's there.
But mysteriously, I have it. Like so many other things they did wrong when they arrested me, and other things which they didn't even list, but they had, and then admitted, oh, actually, we found that now. Yeah. So it's like you don't even know what you have and you don't have. Great. Well done. Well done. Top marks. I can imagine your investigation is just going to be on that level as well. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Mm.
just they live to make your life a living hell. That's what it is.
That's all they're doing is just
That's
trying to
all
be
they love to
arseholes.
do.
Yeah.
They love to make your life a living hell.
Yeah.
Fuck.
But it's not my first rodeo. So it's like, really phased much? No, I'll see you in the magistrate's court. Thank you. Yeah.
Jamie says, jackass.
Mm, mm.
So, okay, well, let me pick your brain. Have you seen this thing the Mexican government has released? What are your thoughts? I'll play it. I'll play it
Yeah,
soon,
do
but
because I saw it in Spanish when it first came out earlier on today, and I was like, "Well, what is it?" Because I thought it looked like stone carvings, but
yeah,
apparently they've X-rayed it. So, but how does something like that survive? It's supposed to be 1,800 years old. They've carbon dated it. How does it survive that long, that intact? What the hell's going on?
I think I read something about them being
Mummified?
not mummified, but what was it again? Oh, what was I gotta find it. I don't know where I found it, but I was reading something to do with the condition of them. They were in oh God, what was it again? I gotta find it. Quinn says carbonized, but maybe. But okay, here. Let's play the video. I'll play the
Mm.
video here. Hold on. And again, it's in Spanish, but you can see the let me just you
There
can
is a news report on News Nation, which I haven't had time to watch yet, which probably will explain a bit more about it. But yeah, it doesn't help with it. Yeah, that's the one. It's in Spanish. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Dos seres que fueron recuperados en Perú en una mina de diatomea. Son cuerpos
Why
desecados
do they need
entre las
silk
ciudades de
silk
Palpa y de
sheets?
Nazca
I know.
en
They're in boxes.
2017,
Like, I mean, it's
que han
mysterious
sido
enough. Like,
investigados profundamente,
it's like a circus thing, isn't
tanto
it?
por
Reveal
Yeah.
investigadores
now the
periodistas como
box.
por científicos, que hoy aquí van a dar a conocer algunas de sus extraordinarias conclusiones. Quiero llamar en primer lugar al investigador Joyce Mantilla, que ha
He's
investigado
been
este
involved
tema desde
with a
el primer
couple of
momento. ¿Ya se
fake
descubrió?
things. So
I do remember. I
Vamos
do
a
recall this
descubrir en
guy.
este
Yes.
momento
yeah,
esos
Jaime Maussan.
cuerpos que, de acuerdo a los científicos que van a declararlo aquí, son seres
But,
no humanos que no
did
son
he
parte de
fake
nuestra
those
evolución
things, or is
terrestre,
he just
I would like
unfortunate?
que
somebody to
después
fucking
de
have a
desaparecer
really
no hay
good
una
look at these things. Like
evolución posterior.
Mm. They reckon they've done DNA tests on them, and it's not human DNA.
that's
But
what I read. Yeah.
I mean, you need independent kind of like verification on that now, because maybe they've taken them to their
De
lab,
acuerdo a la Universidad
and
Nacional Autónoma de México, quien realizó
I mean that
los
face looks like
análisis
stuck on.
de carbono
Yeah.
14,
E.T.
estos seres tienen
Yeah, but it's
alrededor
like
de 1000 años de
like a
antigüedad.
stuck
Es
forward
decir,
face, which is weird.
no se trata de seres que
And
fueron
flat.
recuperados
It's almost like a
en
muzzle,
naves que son estrellamientos, sino son seres que estaban sepultados en minas de diatomea, tierra de diatomea. La diatomea es una alga fosilizada con
I
17
think they were
millones
saying that it would
de
be
antigüedad.
really,
Es
really
fitoplancton que
cool
abundaba
if
en aquel
Mexico is the
tiempo
first country to
y al
reveal
desaparecer se fosilizó.
extraterrestrial life.
Y la
But
diatomea
that's the thing, eh?
Go Mexico!
Imagine if these things were actually real and were like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be nice if they're real,
yeah.
but I mean, they're both the same size. God, who knows? Who knows? I mean, I'm waiting to hear more about it. I want to watch the News Nation piece on it, which is going to explain a little bit more and decipher. Obviously, I don't speak Spanish, but yeah,
So there's a new.
interesting, very interesting.
Oh yeah, if you got a link, send it to me because I'd like to watch that. Yeah, blood. Send a link. Send a link
Yeah.
there if you can.
Are
You might not be able to.
Are you wanted to watch it on the show? You might lose your
Yeah.
monetization. Yeah. Okay.
Don't you
So
think so?
Mexico alien news nation. Let's have a look. Yeah, I've got it.
You think the peg it?
Here we are. I mean, do you want me to play it, or do you want to play it? I can press play on it if you want.
Go ahead and play them. We'll
Okay. Right. Let's see. I'll turn the sound up on it. Stream, present, share screen, entire screen, that screen. Yeah. Let's do a full screen. Oh, hang on. You haven't got audio there, have you? Because I didn't press audio as well. Shit. Now let me just do entire screen, share system audio. Here you go. Right. Oh, system audio. Can you hear that?
Hold on.
Anomalous phenomena, also known as UAPs.
Can you hear the audio?
Now it comes as Mexico holds its first ever hearing on UFOs, with scientists putting on display what they claim are the remains of 2 extraterrestrials. News Nation's Joe Khalil joins us live with these developments. Joe, this is some big news.
Yeah, Kelly, we got big news on multiple fronts here globally on the UFO story. So let's start with NASA that you referenced off the top here. Tomorrow, the agency is going to be releasing its findings on UAPs. Because of significantly increased reports and sightings, last year, NASA put together this team to study the phenomenon, figure out what's real, what we know, and what is still a mystery. And after almost a full year, we are going to finally get that report tomorrow. Now, before that, we expect NASA officials, including the head of the agency, Administrator Bill Nelson, they will be briefing reporters on their finding as well. We are going to hopefully be there, be able to ask our questions. We spoke exclusively today to UFO researcher and filmmaker James Fox about his expectations for NASA's upcoming report tomorrow. Here's what he told us.
Fuck them bozos.
Initially, my expectations were somewhat high because of the statements that Bill Nelson's been making, head of NASA. He was making very compelling statements on the difficulty to explaining some of these unidentified aerial objects that defy physics as we understand it. You know, he acknowledged the tic-tac. He said he met with the pilots and that they couldn't explain what that thing was or where it came from. So then when I found out that they were not going to have access to the classified files, my expectations lowered quite significantly.
So we're anticipating that. Meantime, there is this in Mexico this week. Congressional hearings focused on UAP sightings, much like we had in the U.S. Congress back in July. And this right here sort of stole the show. This is according to a prominent Mexican UFO journalist and researcher. These are 2 non-human corpses, both at least 1,000 years old, discovered in Peru back in 2017 and then fossilized. Now, look, there is a lot of skepticism here about whether these are real, whether this is legitimate. We ourselves can't verify any of this, so we are skeptical about what we're seeing here at News Nation when it comes to the origins of these things in this video. Nonetheless, these displays were a part of a legitimate Mexican congressional hearing. Ryan Graves, the former Navy pilot who actually testified before the U.S. Congress back in July, he was also there sharing his story and his experiences with UAPs, Kelly. So, I think a lot of work still having to go into whether or not these things are real. Mexico's Congress debating whether they're going to be enhancing a law that would essentially make Mexico the first country on earth to say explicitly that they believe in extraterrestrial life. So a lot happening just south of our border there, Kelly.
All right, you can understand the skepticism. Joe Khalil, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find
Thank you for watching.
So of course, because it's not the U.S., we're skeptical. But I mean, why is Mexico coming out with this now? Do you think? What is so important that what the timing? Why?
Mexico's been quite open about UFO stuff because they've had a lot of sightings there over the years, and Jaime Maussan was kind of like the big TV presenter that was bringing a lot of this UFO stuff to the masses, and they were kind of like saying, "Hey, look at all this footage, look at this stuff," and there were some fake bits in there as well, which I think Jaime Maussan may have been, complicit with in kind of putting forward. But overall, I think, Mexico and South America, they've had a lot of stuff happen over there. And the Brazilian government maybe got a hold of some aliens running around a village once, that was, and then it was whisked away by the United States. So James Fox has a documentary on that, which is very good, called Making Contact. And
Yes,
it's
and I have to
really good.
watch that. You mentioned that, right? You
Yeah,
mentioned
because
that, huh?
I heard the stories years ago, and I kind of like on paper reading about it didn't quite kind of resonate with me. And then I watched the James Fox documentary on it, and I was like, wow, there's actually a bit more meat to this than I realized, because you're actually seeing the witnesses talking about it. And, there's a lot of people, there's like military guys saying, like, blurred out because they don't want to get in trouble, but saying like, yeah, we took the bodies, well, not the bodies, the live creatures, we took these live creatures away, and then the Americans came in and took them away. So yeah.
I mean, I think the reality, I think, Matt, is that we have for years downplayed a lot of what's been going on with the whole alien UFO sort of aspect as being fake, um, just, a stage show, if you will. But I mean, what if a lot of this is real?
Mm,
And we're just so oblivious to it and thinking that it's all faked.
mm. Well, a lot of people have brought forward bodies of aliens in the past. It's turned
Yeah.
out to be human babies with
Mm.
malformations, and
Yeah.
things. But this kind of looks different because
Mhm.
the pushed out frontal face is not something you normally have. I mean, it's kind of weird. Sue Lindsay in the chat just said, "How could they move? They have no joints." I kind of thought that too.
Mm.
I thought they were stone carvings when I saw them.
Yeah.
But if you notice on one of the arms, there's actually a bump, which is like a joint. There is
Mhm.
actually on
Mhm.
one arm. So I did notice that a minute ago. We will have to wait and see on this one because it could, yeah, they're cunt faces. Okay, yeah, yeah. It's a scientific term, that. Yeah. But yeah.
So, do you think, what do you think okay, so, you have hieroglyphics, you have stories from, say, Mayan cultures, Aztec cultures, all sorts of cultures that sort of indicate that they had some sort of interaction with, you know, interstellar or beings from another planet.
Mm.
Um, what do you think? Do you think that is just them, just putting stuff in their sort of writings to say it's not what's the wording I'm trying to think here? It's not real, but sort of hearsay or um, you know, we kind of wish that there is another civilization and we believe like we do now that there is another civilization out there. The possibilities are abundant because of the situation of the universe, that we're not the only we're the intelligent culture in the universe, that there must be somebody else out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of aliens out there. I'm sure of it. We're talking like, possibly tens of thousands of other planets. Maybe millions of planets. We just don't know because we don't know how far the universe goes, and the
Hmm.
observable universe. We can only talk about the observable universe.
Yep.
There's like the universe is expanding, and it's very hard to see to the edge of the universe. Because there's stuff beyond what we can see. So, yeah,
And
you
that's
know,
the
I believe,
kerfuffle.
yeah, I believe that there could be lots of races as long as they don't act like this fucking I stepped in the poopy guy, then we'll be fine, you know?
I mean,
Because if it turns out aliens are like this guy, I think people are just gonna be like, "Yeah, you can shove your aliens up your ass." Yeah.
but I mean, trying to understand the size of the universe is just like you drive yourself insane.
Mm,
So, I mean, I mean, you look at the size of our galaxy, we've pretty much mapped our galaxy, we've explored a galaxy, but I mean, man has only been to the moon, and
mhm,
that's it.
as far as we know. Yeah,
As far as we know.
yeah,
But I mean, what does it take? I mean, h- we really don't know if there's another race or civilization within our own galaxy.
or
We,
even multiple races that have been
yeah,
living here side by side with us on Earth that have
yeah.
been hiding their presence. I mean, it could be interdimensional. Some people are saying these things could be time travelers coming from the
Hmm.
future. I mean, you've got to keep your mind open. But what I'm really interested in is whether or not these things have been here for a very long time, and those in power have kept this hidden, have managed to keep this information away from people because they either found it, you know, like from a religious point of view, um, that it was something they couldn't deal with, you know, that they thought these were demons or something in the past, or whether or not they just thought, no, we don't want the public knowing about this because we're in control. We don't want to, you know, sort of say, well, there's something bigger and better. Like the church, for instance, you know, they exist on power.
Hmm.
It's all
Yep.
about power and control.
Yep.
So if they say, well, there's other creatures out there which might be more advanced than us, then that kind of says, well, why are we listening to you guys? You know?
Exactly.
S So they lose all their power, and I think
Mm.
that this is one of the main reasons they may have kept this a secret over the years.
Do
So,
you-
mm,
so do you think that us humans
you mean you?
are, yeah, us,
Yeah,
yeah, me,
not
you,
me,
no,
not
you.
me.
Oh, you're not human?
Only when I drink enough beer, I become human
Oh,
again then.
you mean I have to catch up to you?
Oh, yeah, I'm
So
going for it.
where is Nocturnal? Glenn, Nocturnal is here. I mean, like, are we a part of the sort of alien sort of aspect of Earth? Do you think we were planted here? Do you think we were um an end result of some sort of experiment? I mean, what are your thoughts about the human race here on Earth?
Well, I mean, maybe the idea of panspermia is kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that we arrived here on a meteorite from somewhere else. So therefore, maybe lots of meteorites have landed on lots of planets. So maybe there are other races out there which are kind of similar to us in some ways because life might have started, or have the aliens intervened in the past and messed with our genetics, you know, and maybe we've been put here to be farmed. You know, we were put here to grow up and be used for a purpose. And people talk about in the past, you know, the aliens were around a lot more, you know, and there was a reason for that. Some people have said that we're here to harvest gold for the aliens, you know, because most of
Gold.
the gold has gone out of the vaults in the last few years. Bit weird.
Where has it
Mm.
disappeared to? Where has the
Mm.
gold gone to? But why?
Yep.
Why gold?
I don't know. These are just like things that
Yeah.
people throw out there. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, I've heard all sorts of wacky theories over the years, but it's all theoretical. You know, there's what we do know is that history has been skewed, and a lot of what we think we know We don't really know. And maybe there have been ancient civilizations which have gone prior to us, and disappeared. Kind of evidence of them has been erased.
What
Which
is
they
it?
might have been
Was it
highly
Hopi?
technologically advanced, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, you look at civilizations like what is it? Hopi Tepi? What's the name of that?
Tepico.
13, what, estimating it at what, 11,000, or is it 13,000 years ago? Just after the ice age, the last ice age.
Well, Stonehenge is 10,000 years old. So
Yeah.
that's 8,000 years before the birth of Christ. And there's
Oh,
not a lot of history written down about what went on back that far, or if it was, it's been kind of it's been scooped up and hidden by, you know,
so what?
certain
Yeah,
organizations. Yeah.
interesting. So what is the end? Like what is the official sort of explanation for Stonehenge, or do they have one?
Well, they believe it's it's kind of like a marker to show you the solstice rising, but there's a lot more maths involved, they
Mm,
say.
mhm.
So the solstice sun will rise between a couple of stones, and I've kind of seen that and witnessed it, and it does kind of work for that thing. And I can imagine that ancient man was very interested in the sun, and they believed that the sun coming up in the morning was a great sign, and then it would set, and then to have a calculation system which would work out the differences, of where the sun's going, to be able to work that out and maybe work some other stuff out. It shows that ancient man wasn't just like sitting on his thumb or beating animals over the head with sticks. There was a little bit more thought going into ancient societies than we give them credit for.
Mm.
And I kind of think that maybe they were a bit more tuned into ley lines and energies and things that we don't really know about now. Maybe people experience knowledge in their dreams as well, because the guy who discovered Pluto, for instance, said that he had that idea that Pluto was there in a dream, and
Wow.
then they found the planet, which is it now no longer a planet? They said it's no longer a planet,
Yeah,
you know.
it's been
uh,
downgraded.
yeah. So, but apparently, a lot of people through time have kind of said, well, I went to bed and kind of like I had the inspiration in a dream, and I've done crop circles where we've gone out and done what other people are asking for, So I wonder if humanity is just a massive conscious network of brains that telecommunicate with each other, and we've lost touch with this. We've lost this ability to kind of um, instinctively know and instinctively think, and these thoughts. But things come out in dreams. Things come out in weird ways. You don't kind of like literally get like my brain doesn't go ring ring or vibrate mode and brrr, and it's like message coming in from it's like it's a lot more subtle than that. But I think that ancient man may have got a slight angle on things from maybe intergalactic messages coming through,
Yeah.
telling us what we should do and how we should act. And, you know, were we programmed to pick up these messages by
Mm.
the aliens so they could just transmit signals to us and tell us to do things from a distance? You know, is that how we're designed? Were we designed that way, to pick shit up? Or is it
Well,
something that we naturally grew up with and, through our evolution and our soul connection,
yeah. We have to constantly keep looking at the human brain. I mean, it just seems like it's so much more important than what we're really giving it. You know what I mean? There's a reason for it being the way it's structured, and that we're only using what is it, 10 to 18% of it, something like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
There must be an importance to this, and that we just don't know.
And, maybe some people hypothesize that a lot of conscious thought doesn't take place in the brain. The brain is a receiver for messages from elsewhere, full stop. We are just receivers. And a lot of, people think that we connect to the thing called the Akashic record, which is like the library of all information.
Like a cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I'm not saying it's true,
No.
but,
No.
I'm just throwing this stuff out there. So, because scientists still can't place how the brain works, and it's going to take a fair amount of time for them to work it out. And they thought that when they discovered the mapping of genetics, that once we map genetics, we'll know everything about how humans work. And what they discovered was there was actually subgenetics.
Yeah.
So it's like back to the drawing board, because actually we share memories through our genetics. So if a parent has had an experience, they actually share their memories through their epigenetics, the extra genetics. So you actually pass down, if you've had traumatic experiences,
Mhm.
you pass those memories on. So is this why people have memories of past lives and reincarnation? Is it because you've
Yeah.
actually downloaded your ancestors into your body? So therefore you do have some sort of memory of lives that you haven't lived, because it's been passed on in your genetics. Now, this is cutting edge, kind of like research, and it's a lot of the scientists don't like it, because it's like, oh, really? We're recording stuff and passing it on to our children in our genetics. So I think that this would, if that's correct, then we have to be very careful about how we behave and treat ourselves, because if we are going to pass on genetics, which are a recording of what we've done, then if you don't live a good life, you're not going to pass on that good life to your children.
No.
It's going to be like, shit begets shit. So you keep on passing shit down the line. And I think I've always said that a lot of the stuff in the media is all out there to make people feel fear, so that they can be controlled.
Yeah.
And when people are fearful and they don't know which way to turn, it keeps them distracted, so they're not looking at higher things. And it removes your connection with your own soul, with your own spirituality, because you're constantly distracted and fearful of things, instead of just concentrating on your own existence and your own place in the universe, and looking out, with I think if you pass on the fear and all that sort of crap down to your genetics, it's just going to create a race of sheep, which is
Mhm.
kind of where we're at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we have
So
so many filters in place. Most people are unaware of those filters, and they wholeheartedly believe what's being said to them. And it's really a shame. I mean, there's only that small percentage that will sort of break those filters and think logically and say, there's got to be more to this than what I'm being told,
mm,
right? And that's the filters. The
yeah.
filters, if you can break those filters and you start thinking logically, there is something else going on. And it's that is what they fear. They fear that you're breaking away from the masses
Mm,
and you're understanding a greater understanding. And people are like, oh, wait a sec here. This guy's he's spewing conspiracy.
mm. Well, I mean, like 3/4 of the planet, I think, are religious, have a
Mm,
spiritual belief.
mm.
But in the Western world, you're kind of told to frown on religion as kind of like, oh,
It's a
it's just
dwindling thing.
Yeah, it's a joke, you know, it's all allegorical tales. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's just, you know, made up shit. And I bet a
Mm.
lot of it is made up shit. But the thing is, even though I know most religions are just made up shit,
Yeah.
doesn't mean I don't feel something else is going on. And I
Yeah.
suppose it kind of comes down to experience, whether you've ever had a weird experience in your life and seen some strange stuff. And for a lot of people, I think they purposely shut themselves down because they're too afraid to see things. They're too afraid to experience something weird, and they would rather go, "Oh, no, that's nothing," and then just go
Yeah.
back to living the way they were, because that's easier, because that's the path that's been set out for you, is this narrow, blinkered vision, and if you step outside it, then you're weird, and everyone's gonna take the piss out of you. That's what you think. So you keep yourself running down this, like, mouse maze, you know, the maze that's been created for you with societal beliefs and, you know, peer pressure and everything else. And if you do believe in something weird, I think a lot of people probably keep it themselves. And it's maybe not a bad idea, depending on where you work and who you got round you. It's probably not a bad idea, but it's good to be open and think about
Mm.
these things and wonder about just how amazing the universe is and what part we have in it.
Well, yeah, I think it's important to question everything. You
Mm.
need to question everything. I mean, if you don't question, then you might as well categorize yourself as a part of those being, the sheep. You
Yeah.
need to question. It's healthy to question. It's like anything. You have to be skeptical. You have to think logically. And if you don't do these things, yeah, yeah, exactly. It's you don't see, yeah, you're narrow-minded. You will just see what's in front of you, and that's it.
I live in the hope that one day, through study of quantum physics and
Mm,
various other esoteric things, science is going to finally realize there is spirituality, there is something else, and science is going to have a hard time dealing with that, because they kind of grown up with a, oh, that can't exist, that's impossible, that can't exist, you know. But nature is working on the quantum level. They've
mhm,
shown this with a lot of experiments
mhm.
recently, you know. I mean, oh yeah, I think they're only catching up on what we've known for the last, like, couple of million years. But like, amongst ourselves, we've known there's something else going on. But now we got science, which rationalizes things and goes, what we can't explain doesn't exist. What we're uncomfortable with must be bullshit,
Mm,
so therefore we dismiss it. Everything we can't explain and we can't put inside a box so we know exactly what's going on, it's bullshit.
mhm.
And that, to me, is like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. you know
Absolutely.
so
I wholeheartedly believe in the metaphysical world.
mm.
I wholeheartedly believe in it. I mean, there's just too much evidence not to,
If you are
believe.
somebody that researches this stuff and
Yeah.
maybe has had some experiences. But I've always said this, and I'll say it here now. If you haven't experienced something weird, you probably think that everyone else that talks about this stuff is crazy.
Mhm,
Yeah. And I would say that's a sensible point of view to have.
mhm.
But once you experience something, welcome, welcome,
I
because you
mean
will be welcome,
I
you
mean,
know?
people don't understand that, we have a physical aspect, obviously.
Mm.
It's the physicality. It's within our five senses, the generic five senses. There are things that we don't understand that are outside those senses,
Yeah.
because those senses are generally the filters that have been instilled in us through social domestication, if you will. through years of domestication, you've been like, oh, this is the way a normal person perceives life.
Mm.
Right, without even thinking of, you look at a table down to the to the the chemical sort of breakdown.
Yeah.
These molecules are reacting so fast, or they're reacting so slow, but most of the time fast because they're solid. Wait a second.
Yeah.
What makes them solid? Look at it. I think the metaphysical sort of aspect, the non-physical, the thing that isn't tangible to the human way of thinking, to the normal, the filtered, normal human way of thinking is, look at. I mean, you again, you mentioned the whole aspect of having a weird experience, an experience that you can't explain, and that you start to think, okay, what could have that been? What caused that? And when you look at all normal means, you're exhausted. Okay, I don't understand. There's got to be something, but what is it? That's the realm you get sucked into, and then you go down into this huge rabbit hole. It's like in the Matrix, the blue or the red pill. I mean, there's the metaphysical world is such, I think, an adventure to understand. There's just so much going on that we are so oblivious to, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I remember taking some hallucinogenic stuff once, and I started going do 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 do. The music from Jaws,
Yeah,
da 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 da, and then it came on television. I mean, like, there's so many times in my life where coincidental things have happened, where it's like, how did I know that was just about to happen? How did that happen? And like, if you've not experienced those coincidences and you've not had weird things happen, I can totally understand people go like, "Oh, it's just bollocks. It's just people making this shit up." It's like, yeah, that's fair enough. I just hope and pray, keep an open mind and look and be open minded and just wish, say I'm open, I'm ready, I'm ready. Just give yourself that space to kind of say, okay, come what, bring it on. Bring it on. But I think a lot of people, when they come into the paranormal subjects as well, they want instant gratification, and
mhm,
what they don't get. It's kind of like, my experience with the paranormal realm has told me that it's kind of playful. It's playful, and it doesn't play by your rules.
exactly.
It doesn't, you can't whip it into submission, so it will
Mhm,
play for you. It gives you snippets and tidbits and tantalizing, and sometimes when you turn the recorder off, something happens, or something's when you turn around, something happens, and it's like it's playing with you. It's almost like it's like a playful child. The paranormal world is like a playful realm,
mhm,
and people get frustrated with that. It's frustrated me in the past as well, that things don't, they can't be pinned down.
mhm.
That people want an absolute answer. They want instant gratification. Like, it must happen now. I'm into UFOs. All right, then I'll go and I'll stand on a hill. Why didn't that UFO appear then? I've done enough now. That's it. I've had my one night on the hill. And it's kind of like, you have to really dedicate yourself to want to know and read and learn and open your mind. It's not something that's just going to be flopped in your lap, like somebody who's been training in yoga or Buddhist meditation for like 30 years. you think that you can just get there like this.
Yeah,
Click.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You think you're gonna get there overnight, you know, and it's kind of like I just say to people, just don't give up, you know, and be open minded, and let's see where this interesting ride goes.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a great way of putting it. Ride.
Mm.
Ride. You know. Um I mean, again, looking at sort of the non-physical realm aspect of life, you look at energy and how it's infinite. It continuously moves. It continuously exists. When it's created, it never stops. It's always there. It's like us right now. We're talking and creating energy. It goes into cyber, if you will, cyberspace, or whatever realm it goes into. It's continuous. It loops. It doesn't die. So, I mean, when you look at, say, a human life, the physical aspect, it rests, it dies, it ends, but like the energy aspect of it lives on. It transitions. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think it transitions? Where do you think it transitions to? Or what do you think it turns into? I mean, your theory, your thought.
Well, let's have a look at the universe. I
Yeah.
mean, it's very big.
Hmm.
80% of the universe is filled with dark matter,
Hmm.
which is not even things they can discover with the Large Hadron Collider.
Hmm.
These are particles that they cannot even begin to fathom how they are or what they are, but they
Yeah.
know that. Yeah, so scientists have said, yeah, 80% of the universe is dark matter, i.e., we will probably not know for many, many years what's
Hmm.
out there, you know. So therefore, there we go. It's like if you took a vote, well, what's in the universe that could be weird? Well, yeah. So scientists have said there's 80% of stuff we haven't even got the slightest clue about.
Hmm.
And in the 20%, which we know about, we have even stuff like quantum mechanics, which says that a particle that you fuck with here will be linked to another quantum particle. And if you take one particle and transfer it to the end of the universe, the moment I spin this particle, that one will spin as well. So where does relativity come into this then? Because
Mm.
apparently you can't travel to the end of the universe because time dilation says that you will age less and the universe will race around you, and you literally, because of the physics of mass, means you can't push something that fast because it requires infinite energy to get something up to light speed, that has mass.
Yeah.
It's infinite amount of energy you need to get it. So you're never going to be able to travel using standard Newtonian physics and
Mhm.
relativity. Yeah, you're never going to be able to get out into space. But quantum particles can travel from one side of the universe to the other instantaneously. I just think we need to take everything we know about physics.
Yeah.
I know I enjoy my mobile phones and my technology, but we need to take everything we think we know about physics. We just
Yep.
need to move it aside and say, do you know what? The doorway for a lot of learning about stuff we don't fucking have a clue about, the doorway
Exactly.
is still wide open.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's yeah, I think there's just so much. I mean, is this something, Matt? Is this something? Do you think that they know, or certain people know, but they don't want to share that information?
Maybe they have more of a handle on psychic stuff and communication with extraterrestrials, and I would imagine that this has been worshipped and treated as like God stuff and hide it away. I can very easily believe that this is why there are mystical organizations and schools of mystical stuff. And this has all been suppressed by the churches and various religions over the years. Why? Because just like with the UFOs that they may be hiding in the Senate hearings, because they want it first. It's a human greed thing.
Yeah.
They want to get to it first. They want to get to God before you. So hide God from you, say there is no God, and then they can get to God before you. It's all about greed. This is like a human nature thing. It's quite understandable that they want to have the handle on it before you, and then they'll tell you what to think after that.
Glasgow Dave's going, where does God come into this, Matt? And I think God is the center point, is where everything started. To me, that's what I think God is. I think God is the creation, is how all this started, how this understanding, life, everything that we think about and we try to wrap our brains around is what God has. That the God is the center point, and the ever expanding, the ever expansion of that center point.
Yeah.
I don't think
unless we're an experiment in a petri dish, and
that too. Yeah,
the whole universe is a simulation in a computer system. Well, then God is the programmer.
Exactly.
It's kind of like
a programmer.
Yeah.
Yeah. The word lie is in the word alien. Is it? Yeah.
But I mean, it's such a tantalizing subject to be dealing with. I mean, a lot of people they haven't got time for it, because they literally, that's the whole point. They haven't got time.
They don't care. Most people just don't care.
But they haven't got time because, I mean, they're chasing their fucking tails all the time to kind of like, eat, earn money, they're always doing more to kind of catch up than they are to just sit down and think about things and spend time. Reg Presley, lead singer with the Trogs. I mean, he always said to me, and I really take this on board. I said, do you know what? That's a fucking good idea. He said, what we really need in this world is less work, more play. We need to be working 3 days a week and off for the other, 4. We need more playtime than work time. And what we should do is we should structure society in a way whereby people work less, but then you work part-time almost. It's kind of like you work part-time. I'll take over from you, you take over from me. But why we have this system where it's like work everybody to the bone, give them the minimum amount of time off. They can't do anything when they leave work because they're usually tired. So the whole structure is about work, 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 work. Wheel. It's like the mouse wheel or the hamster wheel.
Well, the control, right?
It's just keep people occupied and distracted so they don't look into themselves. And they don't look into the mysteries of the universe unless your job is, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a bit of a skeptic, on a lot of things. But I'm sure he will eat his words one day, and I will be like, yeah, yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing when I mentioned domestication, Matt. I mean, work is a part of that domestication. It's like school and everything else. These normal facets of life that we're told to do. You're supposed to, grow up and go to school and learn and then get a job, get married, have a family, and that's the way life is supposed to be, right? Anything outside of that is irrelevant.
Yeah. you know, it's really sad that we've come so far, but we want to dispense with our past, you know, which is kind of like, to me, you know, like ghosts and the paranormal and spirituality is where we've come from.
Mhm.
You know, we've had this since we crawled out of a cave and started, like, you know, organizing ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, spirituality's been there for so long, you
Mhm.
know, and just in the last couple of 100 years, we're kind of going, nope, we don't want that anymore. Um, I think that that's kind of like, you should never lose touch with where we've come from.
Yeah.
You know, even if it was out of a cave, you know, and monkeys, you know, it's all part of where we've come from. You don't dispense with where we've come from.
You don't think spiritualism is on the rise? You think it's declining?
It's they wanted to decline.
Well,
I
sure,
mean,
they wanted to decline, but
they
I
they who
yeah.
themselves, the Illuminati and all
Mm,
that, them lot, who themselves are very spiritual, but they don't want you to be. That's the whole
mm.
point. You know, it's kind of like governments will tell you not to do something whilst they're all doing it. You know, it's kind of like, this is the game. This is the game that gets played. It's like, oh, that's not real, but we know it's real. You know, it's the whole game that gets played. It's like, UFOs aren't real. Yeah, but we know they're real because we've been hiding them from you. You know, it's kind of like, everyone knows these lies. Everybody's got, like, you know, you can't prove to people that ghosts are real, and you can't prove to people that UFOs are real. But I think a lot of people know they're being lied to on a daily basis, and the governments don't tell you the truth, and they hide a lot. Now, a lot of people believe in that, but they won't believe in ghosts, and they won't believe in UFOs. Well, if they've been lying to you about a lot of things, I think ghosts and UFOs are probably in there too, you know? So just remember that.
S- Blood says spirits are real. You damn right they are.
Mm.
more ways, more ways than ever. Holy crap! Yeah.
Or I'll give you this. If spirits aren't real, then it's us projecting them. Yeah.
Are, Matt, or are we the spirits?
Uh, yeah.
Are we the glitch that the spirit, the ghost, or the ghosts are experiencing?
Mm.
Is there a glitch in the matrix?
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
I've seen a few glitches in the Matrix.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's it's an intriguing realm, and for those who look into the realm, are constantly amazed with obviously not all of them, because there's a lot that are sort of lumped together with how um what they kind of fantasize the paranormal realm to be. But I mean, those who really investigate, really research the paranormal um on a legitimate sort of level, which is far and few between, do it sort of a grassroots sort of approach and keep that grassroots, because that's sort of like a fallen by the wayside sort of approach. Because I mean, most of these people that investigate the paranormal now, Matt, they're so used to watching the TV shows, and
Mm.
you
Mm.
know, they've never sat down and read
Mm.
a book on a subject within the paranormal, or tried to understand certain aspects of what's been learned through the years uh, on the subject, like excuse me, something like orbs,
Yep.
you know something like, oh, an orb it's a dead loved one. You can see the facial features and blah blah blah. Yeah, they have no idea about pareidolia. They don't know about anything that we know scientifically or naturally photography wise, for instance, you take a picture, I've got an orb. Okay, try to explain that orb. Most people won't bother.
Mhm.
They just accept it as being something spiritual or paranormal.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of UFO photos over the years, and I've had to kind of say, nah, you have to explain to people some of the kind of like things that they don't like it though. I mean, you have to kind of say, I take people, and I say, look, you want my opinion, this is what it is. And in being kind of versed in things, and I'm still skeptical of
Mhm.
a lot of stuff. You
Yeah.
kind of have to let people down, because you have to say, well, it's probably this. But it doesn't mean that there's nothing there. It's kind of like even the Project Blue Book used to say
Mhm.
that out of most of the sightings, like 80% of the sightings, we can identify what they were, or we think that we can. But like there's still the 20% we can't. And this is like with these, recent revelations from the government. They're saying, well, okay, then this stuff does exist, but we don't know what it is. Well, okay, but most of the stuff they're getting in, most of it will be, low value, low interest crap, but there's always going to be something you can't explain. And that's the trouble with, like, if you say most people watch television, well, most of the television you watch is crap and isn't
Yep.
real.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's full of bullshit.
Mhm.
But there's going to be a nugget of something in there
Yeah.
somewhere. And I think really what you have to do with life is you have to filter out the bullshit to get to the what might be there, behind it. And
And
it's like wading through shit to get to the gold nugget, you know?
but those who are, you know, authentically searching for what they believe will go through that. Will weed through that. We'll go through the 8 hours of investigation dullness just to get that little nugget of hey, look at something is going on here.
Yeah.
What it is, I gotta know,
Yeah.
right?
And voices that have appeared like on recordings. So many
Mhm,
times I've heard, things coming through on recordings that weren't the people who were there, and
mhm,
it's just weird stuff. And I mean, I've seen figures, and I've seen UFOs, I've seen a lot of stuff. I've had weird coincidences in my life. I've had telepathy. I mean, like I remember once when I went, I might have told this story. I don't know if I told it to you, but I was really like uptight one day when I was driving home from work.
mhm.
I was really uptight, and I was like gripping the steering wheel because people had been like trying to crash into me and fuck me off. And I was like, they're all going slow. And I was tense. I was tense. I was
Mhm.
gripping the steering wheel. I was like that. And then I just looked down at my fuel gauge, and I noticed it was all the way up. And then I looked at my other gauge, the temperature was all the way up, and my speedo was all the way up.
Oh,
All of
wow.
my needles were all the way up. And I went, what the fuck's that? What's going on here? And then I I kind of like did a mirror on myself, and I went, shit, I'm really tense here. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. And I calmed myself down a little bit. And then all the needles came back down. And I was like, what the fuck was that? And and then I drove home, walked up the steps to the house, and I thought, right, now I'm going to have an onslaught with fighting with my mum, which was like a, you know, daily sort of occurrence, and I just thought, like, right, calm down before you go in there, because you just don't want to fucking deal with this shit, right?
Mhm.
Calm it down, calm it down. And I just opened the gate, walked in, and I just thought, I'm just gonna, it's just like a feeling like I'm just gonna let this go now. I'm gonna let it go, let it go. And I just went, and I just released a thought form, like an energy,
Mhm.
and I smashed a glass ball that was
Oh,
at the end of the
wow.
garden. It just went boosh
That's
and
crazy.
exploded. I focused on it, and it just went exploded. So I'm like,
Telekinesis.
what the fuck? what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because like I just had my needles on my car all up in the red, and then I calmed down and they all came back, and then I'm like, right, let it go. It's just like one last bit of energy, boom, and it was like blew a glass ball up, you know?
Insane. And yeah, it really makes you think. It really makes you think what the potential that we as humans have that we've lost.
Maybe we haven't lost it. Maybe we've just been tricked into not believing we had
Well,
it.
that's what I mean. The filters through domestication and everything else. These abilities that we once had, we've totally been like from birth. I mean, uh, we have these abilities, I think, when birth to young childhood, we have these abilities that seem to wane off as we get older, and the more filters are you know, pushed through you, and you start to yield to what people are telling you, school and parents and blah 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 blah. But I mean, you know everything from the young child to having a imaginary friend. We like to say imaginary friend, but is it imaginary friend, or is it real contact with somebody, somewhere? These are things that we like to say, oh no, it's an imaginary friend. It's people who are in some of these people who are in these sort of mental states where they have been put into an asylum or whatever else. Are they really mental, or do they really have contact with some other sort of, I don't know, state of mind, dimension or glitch or whatever?
Yeah, maybe they're opened up so much that they're hearing too many voices. Maybe not all
Exactly.
those
It's driving
voices
them
are
fucking
their own.
insane.
Yeah, but I think some of them are fucking insane.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, what have people done in the past to deal with this? It's like, you shut people down, you medicate them, you get rid of
lobotomize.
you get rid of all the things instead of trying to learn, it's like we've got a lot of autistic people at the moment, and on the spectrum, and heavily autistic people are like machine minds,
Yes.
they're capable of very powerful thinking and
Yes.
very powerful, they
Mhm.
make great computer programmers. They think very analytically, and but they don't seem to have this thing that the rest of us have called common sense.
Common
It's
sense.
you know, but like they are incredible with the things they
Mhm.
can do. And
Yep.
I always remember hearing about Aboriginal people, and I
Mhm.
really liked hearing this. It was like, wow, music to my ears, because races of people are different.
Mhm.
Okay, and that's not, this is not like Adolf Hitler talking here now, right? I mean, unfortunately, it's a fact of life. Men are men, women are women, right? Different races of people have different characteristics. Yeah,
Mhm.
like Chinese people don't tend to have earwax, and they don't sweat, so they don't have the same glands under their arms that get pongy, so they don't need to have sprays.
Mhm.
They can't drink much alcohol because their bodies aren't used to it, because the Western world has been drinking alcohol
For
far longer than the
years, yeah.
Eastern. So we're all different, right? We've all got different skills.
Mhm.
We've all got different abilities. Like some races are better at maths, some are better at physical stuff, and it's like we've all got different abilities. And what I really liked hearing was Aboriginals, right, are amazing trackers,
Oh, yeah.
because naturally, right, they can see things
Mhm.
that a normal person would just ignore in the
Mhm.
landscape,
Yep.
right? They're highly tuned to pattern matching things they see and hear and smell, right? And they can track, yeah. So they're very highly tuned for that. Now, that to me is like, well, there's a brilliant person you need on your police force to
Mhm.
go and look for a murderer, because
Yeah, yeah.
they're going to spot things you're not going to spot.
True.
Yeah. And it's like what we have to do is we have to celebrate our differences and realize how all our differences can come together to make a greater whole. Instead of saying, no, this is what globalism is trying to tell us. The whole human race is exactly the same. All the blood groups are exactly the same.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like that. You know, everyone knows it's more complicated than that.
Exactly. I mean,
You know,
each, as you pointed out, each race, the characteristics are are a result of the environment that they've been in for years.
yeah,
You know, and each one of us have adaptation,
yeah,
right? And people tend to forget that. You know,
yeah.
there's a reason why we all, look different or whatever else. It's because we were all in different, environments for years. I mean, before globalism sort of took hold,
I mean, Native American Indians they've got like a natural ability to encrypt speech, which is like part of their language. You know, it's kind of like, but it's in their genetics as well. And the American government cottoned onto this, that they're actually good linguists. If you train American Indians, Native American Indians, or well, they say, but it's offensive to say Indians, isn't it? Because I mean, they're not Indian.
Yeah.
They didn't come from India.
Native Americans, yeah.
They're Native Americans, and they found out that they're good linguists. They're really good linguists. They're good with language.
Yep.
And we need to celebrate our differences. And it's like putting a round peg in a square hole. If you know somebody's good at maths, then don't give them a job where they're doing gardening. Give them a job where they're good at maths. If they're good at that, it's like, but all of society seems to be set up. It's like, well, even though you're not geared towards this thing, we're going to tell you to do the thing you don't want to do. So you're not going to enjoy yourself. You're going to be doing something you don't want to do. It's going to drown your spirit. It's going to drown your soul. You're going to be unhappy, and you're just going to be getting by. Whereas if you could put round pegs in round holes and the square pegs in square holes, people would be able to excel at what they're good at and enjoy. And I think this is the whole point, is like everything in society is designed to filter you, channel you, and make you do things that you didn't want to do, because it keeps you distracted. So you don't end up, you don't look up,
Control mechanisms.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to leave it at that. I'm
Mm.
gonna have to end this, buddy. But
Okay.
I want to leave it at that. Very intriguing conversation as always, Matt.
Okay. Well, thank you. I was going to get another beer, but meh.
Oh, I'd love to. I gotta get up early.
Okay. Well, you have a responsible job, so you better go and do it.
Unfortunately. But let's do this again. Of course, I'm always up for it.
A late night,
whatever, early morning.
Yeah.
Early morning, whatever.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Well, hopefully that inspired some people. If you're working in a
was.
job you don't like, find a job you do like,
Exactly.
and give yourself some time to live life, because is it the only one? If you believe it's the only one, you better fucking enjoy it,
Yeah.
And if it's
Exactly.
not the only one, then make the best of it, preparing for the next one.
Absolutely. Matt, you take care, bud.
All the best. Cheers
All
now.
right. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Night.